So what I have for you guys today is a couple of additional examples to help you out with solving equations that involve alternate exterior, alternate interior, corresponding consecutive interior, things like that. Because the assignment that I'm going to leave you today is really just some extra problems that I feel that we really need help with. So I'm going to go ahead and work through a few of them for you, and I will leave a copy of this as well on the Google Classroom to help you. So I'm going to start right here. I'm going to say, all right, these two angles right there are alternate exterior. And what I know about alternate exterior is that they are equal. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to say, all right, 4x minus 30 equals 74. So there's my equation, and now I'm just going to work some quick algebra. I need to get x by itself, so I need to go ahead and deal with this minus 30 first. So I'm going to go ahead and do plus 30. That's going to leave me 4x equals, let's see here, 104. And so I still need to get the x by itself, so divide by 4. X's are going to cancel. And that's going to leave me with x equals, and I'll just grab my handy calculator if I need to. 104 divided by 4 is 26. Okay. Now, when dealing with z, I have a couple of options. I think the best option and quickest option is going to be that these two angles here are supplementary. So I'm going to go ahead and say that. I'm going to say, all right, supplementary. They add up to 180. So I'm going to say z plus 74 equals 180 degrees. And then I'm just going to quickly solve for z by doing my subtraction. And that's going to leave me, let's see, 106. So z is 106. So what I'm going to ask you to do with questions like this is to solve for two variables, and you just need to sort of decide for yourself, are they congruent or are they supplementary? If they're congruent, set them equal, work your algebra. If they're supplementary, add them to 180, work your algebra. All right, so let's move on to the second example that I have for you. Same idea. I just need to sort of decide. So a couple things that I see when I look at this problem is this. First thing I see is that these two angles are vertical angles, so they are congruent. So they're congruent or equal. The problem is I have z and y, so I'm going to have to deal with one of them first before I can deal with a vertical angle. So, we'll come back to that. So the second thing I'm going to look at is these two angles, however, are consecutive interior. And what I'm going to say is that they are supplementary. So I'm going to go, all right, y plus 66 equals 180 degrees. Subtract 66. Y equals, let's see, work that quick algebra. That's 4, 1, and 114. Now that I know what y is, now I can deal with the idea of the vertical angles being congruent. Now I can deal with the idea that 4z plus 6 equals y. But I know what y is. So I'm just going to replace y with 114. And once again, work my quick algebra. So I need to get the z by itself, so minus 6 on both sides. 4z equals, let's see here, that's going to leave me with 108. And then divide by 4 to get the z by itself. So quick division. And z is equal to, let's see, quick calculator there, 27. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the ALEKS, of course, and make sure that the answer is correct. The key to it is, are they congruent or are they supplementary? And identifying which are congruent and which are supplementary. Okay, so the last problem I'm going to go ahead and work out for you guys. So I have one more. So So once again, I look at these and I see a few things. The first thing I think to myself is that these two right here are a linear pair. And they are supplementary. But I have the same problem that I had a minute ago, and that's I don't know what Z is. So I'm going to have to deal with Z first. So the next thing I'm going to look at is, okay, well, let's take a look at the relationship between these two. And we never actually gave these an official name, but if you wanted to call them consecutive exterior, that would be okay. But regardless of what we call them, they are supplementary. So I'm going to say Z plus 67 equals 180 degrees. Subtract 67, of course. And Z is going to leave me with 113. Yes. Now that I know what Z is, now I can substitute it into the linear pair idea. And now I can go ahead and finish solving. So as a reminder, linear pair is supplementary. So I'm going to say 4x minus 45 plus Z equals 180 degrees. But I've already solved for Z, folks. Z is right here, so I'm just going to plug that in. So 4x minus 45 plus 113 equals 180 degrees. Now, I need to go ahead and work some quick algebra, so I'm going to start by just simply putting these two together. Since they are on the same side of the equal sign, I just simply need to add or subtract them. So 113 and the negative 45, that gives me 68. I don't want to draw that. So 4x plus 68 equals 180 degrees. And then once again, I need to get x by itself, so a little bit of subtraction and a little bit of division will get me exactly what I need. So this is going to leave me with, let's see here, 112. And then I'm going to do some quick division. Once again, grab my calculator here. 112 divided by 4 is 28. So the questions I have left you are just a few questions that are like this. I expect you to work them out pretty much just like I did. If you have any questions or whatever, feel free to send me a message, folks. Communication is very, very important, especially since we're virtual learning. Other than that, get the 5 questions done in the ALEX. I just titled it with today's date, so the assignment name is just Wednesday, October 13th. So get those 5 questions. Also, make sure that you have done the Nearpod. It's just a few simple questions about what we did last class period, and I am going to be using that for attendance. So when I look at the Nearpod, I'm going to take a look who answered these questions in the Nearpod, and I'm going to do my attendance based on Nearpod. Okay, so make sure that you log in, you get those done, so I can mark you present for the day. All right?